Hello friends, welcome back to the Art Room with Mr. Eck. Today we're going to be learning about self-portraits. So portrait is an art word you need to know. A portrait is a picture of someone's face, and it may show like their neck and shoulders and a little bit of their shirt, but for the most part the face is the focus of the artwork. That's a portrait. A self-portrait, of course, is when you create a portrait of yourself. So we're going to be doing that in this project. And then we're going to make it super fun with some crazy patterns in our hair, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, I want to do a little bit of art history. We're going to look at two famous artists who are known for their self-portraits. Let's check them out right now. The first artist we're going to look at is Frida Kahlo. Frida lived in Mexico about 70 years ago and painted her artwork, and the paintings she's most famous for are her self-portraits. As we look at her self-portraits, I want you to especially pay attention to her backgrounds, how she likes to include different animals or beautiful butterflies or plants, and also how she used color to change the feeling of her artwork. The other artist we're going to look at is Rembrandt van Rijn. Rembrandt lived in Holland about 400 years ago, and he is famous for his excellent use of highlights and shadows. So as we look at paintings by Rembrandt, look at how he used his shadows and highlights. Here's another one by Frida Kahlo. Lots of colors. We've got some fun animals and a fun background. Another one from Rembrandt. Lots of shadows. He has kind of a serious face. That's something you can do in your self-portraits. You can be serious or you can have a big smile. It's up to you. Another one with Frida. We've got a lot of different plants. This time looks like wheat that they make bread out of, and a monkey this time, so that's pretty exciting. And here's a very dark portrait by Rembrandt. Lots of great shadows here. And we're going to finish with this one of Rembrandt as a young man. Again, great use of shadow, very soft shadows, and it looks very realistic. Excellent job, Mr. Rembrandt. Alright, so like I said, a self-portrait is mostly your face. So we need to start with drawing our face, and it needs to be pretty big. So I'm going to start by drawing a large U shape. I'm going to draw two lines for my neck, and then a bump for a shoulder, and a bump for a shoulder that goes all the way off the page. My hand hit my laptop and it messed up my shoulder. There we go. That looks better. Alright, and then be sure you give yourself, like, you could do like a collar like this. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. That's easy. Alright, then leave the top open for right now. We'll come back to the hair in a minute. Add all your regular facial features like ears, eyes. To make your art look really friendly, draw nice big eyes. It's a nice tip for you. For the nose, you could just do a line like this. You do a line like this. You could make an L shape, or you could do two C's with a bump. I think I'll go with that one. Alright, and then decide what you want your face to be doing. You could be smiling, you could be showing your teeth. I'm going to leave mine like this because I have to draw a beard. You guys don't have beards, well, at least my students don't. Maybe someone will watch this video someday that does have a beard, in which case you should draw your beard. Beards are fun. Add some beard down here. Very nice. Alright, that's a good start for Mr. Eck. And so you guys, you can't forget your eyebrows. That's very important. Sometimes we forget some obvious things like eyebrows. Alright, so what we're going to do for the hair is I want you to think about different line patterns, and we're going to make our hair go off the top of the page. This is a crazy hair self-portrait, so I'm going to do some different kind of lines. So I'm going to do some curly cues, do some zigzags, some wavy lines, castle lines, Started kind of weird there, but that's okay. I'm just going to go with it. Yeah, that works. So one thing I forgot is, what are we going to do with our background? Like, I'm talking about this area right here and on the left. We could do whatever we wanted to. You could put polka dots, you could put funny shapes, you could put, you could draw your house, you could draw the forest, the beach, whatever you want. I think I'm going to draw some random shapes. I'm going to draw some random shapes and lines, and then I'm going to Sharpie it, and then I'm going to talk about how we're going to color this. Alright, and then after you're done penciling and sharpening everything, you need to get an eraser, either the eraser on the back of your pencil, or even better, a big art eraser. I need to erase all of your pencil lines, because we don't want any of those showing. It just, it's not a big deal, but it just makes our finished artwork look that much nicer if you can't see any of the pencil lines. Alright, to add color to our self-portraits, we're going to be using watercolors. So what you need for that is a tray of watercolors. These are slightly used, but they'll work just fine. You need some water. A paper towel would be a good idea. And then a paintbrush. So what I don't want to see is, I don't want you guys just mixing the color all over and mixing them together and just splish splashing all over the place. For this, I want to see you control the paint. So the way we use watercolors is, you get your paintbrush wet, and then you dip it gently, rub it around on top of the color you want. See, now I've got red on my paintbrush, and then you color. Try to control it. The wetter your paintbrush, the lighter the colors will be, so just keep that in mind. I'm just going to color one section here and show you how we clean our brushes, and then I will do the rest of this time lapse. So now I'm going to rinse my brush off, and I've got my paper towel. I'm going to rub it on my paper towel, make an X, maybe 2 X's, and then I'm ready to get another color. You can get more water on your paintbrush if you want. We just want to make sure the red, in this case, is off my paintbrush before I get another color, because we do not want to mix up our colors in our paint tray. Alright, I'll do the rest of this time lapse, and then we'll finish up. And this is my finished crazy hair self-portrait. Man, I think this turned out super fun. It was a lot of fun to work on. A couple things I want to point out before we end up here is that you probably saw while I was painting that some of my colors did merge, and that happens when you have a wet color right beside another wet color. So that's going to happen some even to Mr. X. So what I want you to do is to just try to control those colors as best you can, but just know that sometimes the colors are going to merge. If that happens, you can dry your brush and try to spread it around, and like I did here, just try to make it work out just fine. Also, a couple more things. I don't have a red beard or eyebrows, but in art you can make changes like that. So I did that for fun, just because I thought it would look good in this artwork. I wanted a bright, exciting color for my beard. And what else? Oh, and the shapes in the background, I left white because there was so much color in the background, I thought that it would be okay to leave some parts white. Normally, I'm not a big fan of leaving big parts of your background white, but in this case, it made sense. So if you want to do something similar to me, then feel free to do that as well. And that's about it. So now it's time for you to make your self-portrait, and I hope that you have as much fun as I did. See you next time in the art room.